Hello interwebs, welcome to Let's Fix Computers. I'm looking at a Logitech Bluetooth speaker. No idea what model. Oh, it's an S00122. It probably has a more graceful model name than that, but whatever. So this thing has a knackered charge port on it, as these things often do. So what we're going to do is take this thing apart. Now, I've already started popping bits open because while I was holding it in my hand before, when this thing came in, I looked at it, I'm like, I don't even know where to start with this thing. So I'll just quickly show you how, before I go any further. The way I got started on this, I took my prying tool, this is a metal prying tool, dug under there and just pried it upwards like that. And that just popped this bit open a bit. And as you can see, we're starting to make progress there. And then after that, for the top bit, this is the charger jack end. I dug in under the coloured plastic to the white bit and just pried upwards. And as you can see, we've got there are some clips going on in there. So now I've got this started, I thought, oh, okay, yeah, we're getting somewhere. Let's turn on the camera. So I'm going to carry on prying this upwards now and just see how far we get. I don't know what's going to come off, and there we go. That has come off. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, right. So, can I do that at the other end? Do I want to do that at the other end? We're doing it at the other end. How about... It would be nice if we could just fully disassemble this, but... it's pretty tough. Hopefully I'm not damaging this. One more. There we go. I just kind of brutalized that off. Yeah, I've broken some clips there. Yeah, I brutalized that. We'll get that back together again. It'll be all right. This thing's dead if we don't fix it. So, but yeah, she'll be right. Okay, right. So, well, this might be quite an easy job actually. We could unscrew all of this and take the insides out. I might do that because I'm curious. This is the bit we're interested in, but I'm going to go a little bit deeper inside this just to see what's inside it. Does that come out? No, not really. So we get better access if I take it apart. Right, we've taken those screws out. What does this do? It pries out. And does that unplug? I think it unplugs. Oh, it's not going to want to though. It's trapped in that casing. I can see the batteries there. I can't pull that out yet. It looks like it's got at least one 18650 and it's probably got another one down there. Can we open this up? Can we split this? Does that come off? I think this case would probably split open, but I don't really want to put that to the test though. I might quit while I'm not too far behind here. So this thing is weatherproof. There's a bit of a seal around this. You can see where that's just all been filled up with glue, and again we've got hot glue around there. So it will take a little bit of splash, this thing, which is kind of good. I wanted to open this thing up to get a look at the speakers, but it's pretty tough to get into. So I might, as I say, I think I'm going to quit while I'm ahead. So how are we going to get better access to that USB port? Do I need to get better access to that USB port? I would like to. I'm going to grab a pair of pliers and just see if I can rip that out of this plastic. That's just dry jointed. The connector itself actually looks to be in pretty good condition. It's just the solder joints are all dry jointed. Interesting. Is this just hot glue? Yeah, or silicone or something like that. I want to be able to pull these wires through a bit more and get some slack, but I don't know if I can. I can't disconnect it without figuring out how this case splits open. Maybe I can dig a prying tool down there just to free things up enough. We're ruining the seals here, but you know, I don't think anyone expects these things to be waterproof anyway, to be honest. Right, have we done enough to get through? Okay, that's enough to work with, and I've got half a chance of pulling that back through again afterwards. Cool, right. So yeah, these are all completely dry jointed. I wonder if I could just reflow all that, if it'll be okay. Or whether the connections are too damaged. Oh, those connections are toast. Maybe. You know what, I'm just going to lift that off because it's basically broken anyway. Oof, no. That's no good. Annoyingly, it's just taken the anchor pad at the bottom with it. However, we've got enough of that to work with. Let me show you what we're dealing with here. Right, so as you can see, the anchor pad in the middle just got torn off by the dry joints there, and that's why it's buggered. But the 4 anchor holes, the through holes, those are intact. So we could definitely solder a new connector on, and also the actual pin pad, so the 5 pins between these 5 pins here, those look good as well. I can clean those up, and we can get a new connector onto that. So the question is now is what connector are we going to use? I'm going to check what I've got in my Selectorama, and I think the generic spares I've got are going to fit. Let me grab one out of the packet and I'll show you a comparison. Alright, so that's the fella that just got torn off. So there's the rest of the pad on the bottom of it, and as you can see the pins are all a bit messed up. So that's why this thing wasn't charging, those pins were not connecting properly. And my replacement one, which I've just lost sight of, there it is. And my replacement one looks like that. And so as you can see, that looks like a pretty good match to me. I think that's going to drop on. So let's warm up the soldering iron, and we'll clean up the pads first. And I think I'm just going to work in situ here. Okay, right, we've cleaned up those pads with some leaded solder, and I've loaded up the pins with as much as I can. Can't clear those holes because they're a bit too small. I need to get me one of them solder suckers really and have a bash with those, but yeah, I don't like them. I should try them, I just don't like them. So I'm going to cheat and we're going to hot air this on. So let's position that fella in there. And I'm going to hot air this from underneath, which is something that I should have been doing previously. Ooh, are my anchor pins going to fit? Oh, just about. Let me just get that into position. Can I just press that in slightly? Not quite. It's hard to show you guys really, but the anchor holes at the back are only just wide enough. In fact, I'm actually going to widen the pins on these just a touch, just to make fitment a little bit easier. Just going to tweak those slightly open with some tweezers. There we go, not sure if that's made any real difference, but we'll find out. And now I'm going to have to hold that on with a pair of tweezers while I heat the back. And hopefully I'm not going to burn my hands on the tweezers. I probably will. I'm going to back off a sec because it's not going in evenly. And I think I drifted off shot for that, which is annoying. Okay, let's just get the other side. Right, how does that look? That looks okay. Right, the front anchor points are definitely in. And the backs are in. And we just, you know what, we have, I didn't think I was going to have enough clearance to get to the back there, but I actually do. So I'm actually going to touch that up with the soldering iron. I'm going to need my, I'm going to need the fine soldering iron for this though. So I'm just going to warm up the TS100 with my knife tip on it. And I want to feed a bit more solder in from the bottom to get those anchors nice and seated. It's so tempting to put solder on the top there, but I'm not going to do that because I know from past experience that if you try and feed solder in onto the top of these pads, it'll flow straight into the connector and ruin the connector. So pro tip, don't do that. Let me try and get back in shot again. And let's get some solder into there. Can you guys see what I'm doing? Let me just focus out a little bit. I think that'll do. There we go. So as you can see, I've just flooded a bit more solder into those anchor holes. And sometimes you'll see that on top and sometimes you won't when doing these. Oh, that one definitely filled. That's nice. Can I just touch a little bit into there? No, I'm not sure. I don't like that. I'm just going to clean the tip and I'm just going to touch those pins now. There we go. And contrary to the advice that I just gave, I'm going to risk just putting a little bit of solder onto the front of these anchor points because I have spare connectors. If I mess this up, I can make a second attempt at it. There we go. Ah, that's better. That makes me feel much better. All right, let's just repeat that for the other side. I have got a much better soldering iron for doing this kind of work than the last time I attempted it. These knife tip edges are just brilliant for this kind of work. They give you so much more control over the heat. Yeah, that's good. I'm happy. I like it. And I'm just going to make one last attempt to get some onto the back right leg. Not sure if I'm achieving anything there. I don't think I am. There we go, that got it. Right, did I just take someone out? Not sure. Not sure if we're missing a component here. I'm not sure if there's something supposed to be there that I've knocked off. Hard to tell. What would that be if it was something? This is ground. It's to do with the USB circuit, so that might be a decoupling capacitor, but we only need power to get into this thing, so I don't really care if I've messed up a data line there or destabilized a data line. That's fine. I think I'm going to roll with that. I think I'm going to grab a power bank and check if that fella works. Let's see if we get a charge light. There we go. Cool. That's charging at 1.4 amps. That's pretty high speed. And the light is doing a flash thing. And it's doing a very fancy flash as well. Good stuff. Well, that'll do me quite nicely. I'm surprised that's pulling such a high amount of power. This thing probably charges really quickly if you've got it on a good charger. Nice. Alright, we're done. Let's put it back together again. Right, I think I've settled that enough. That looks good. Right, let's stuff that all back in there. Yeah, that's good enough. Okay, screws. Slightly bummed that I snapped those tabs opening it up. That's a shame, really. But I think it'll go back together. It's quite common for some of the plastic tabs to snap on these things when you open them up. Like, I see it all the time on laptops and stuff like that. You know, you do your best to be careful, but you know, you'll be there all day if you pick too carefully. However, 9 times out of 10, when you actually come to pushing it all back into place, it'll go back together just fine. So I'm hoping that's what we're going to find here. And since this thing was so tough to open up, you know, with a couple of those tabs broken, it's probably still going to be pretty strong once it's reassembled. Bummer that we didn't get to open the rest of it up. That would have been handy, but you know, oh well. Right, which way around does this go? Ah, I see. There is actually a bit of clear plastic there for a light pipe, which is how it's getting the light from that LED out there. I was wondering that. Okay, so let's plug this end in first. And then push that down, stretch it around. Right, and I think I'm just gonna, you know, squash this all down. That sounded pretty good. That's on. That's on.
Critical battery.
Oh.
Please charge.
Whew, that frightened the life out of me. It started talking. It said, "Critical battery. Please recharge." I was like, what the hell? Okay, that's fine. I'll just push that on. There we go. That looks good. So despite... How strong is that now? Yeah. Despite the tabs that I broke, it doesn't want to come out. That's going to need a prying tool to reopen. That's fine with me. Cool. Let's try that one more time on the charger. Let's grab the power bank again. There we go. 1.4 amps charging and a flashing charge light. Barbie Dazzler. Did it turn on?
Charging. Please wait.
Ah, look at that. Charging, please wait, she says in an American voice. Cool. Right, thank you very much for watching, everyone. I'll see you all next time. Goodbye for now.